Hello, everybody. Welcome to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. This week, we're going to have some chats about the Game Awards and all the announcements, some Diablo 4 news, some Days Gone drama, all of the good stuff. And this week, I am going to click the right intro. I'm very determined. I even checked before we hit record. So here's the intro for you. Alrighty, welcome back from the intro. My name is Brianna, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. I'm joined by Nick and Will from Friday Night Gamecast. Before we jump into all of this, like how are you and all that stuff, I'm just gonna run down all of this housekeeping stuff. So remember, you can find us at youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. While you're there, please subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, you can listen on all your favorite audio services, podcast services. We would love if you would leave us a review. It's really fun reading through reviews as well if you want to just to do a fun activity. If you want to support us and get early access to all the Save the Game Media content, you can head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose a tier that is right for you. Just like our current patrons, we've got Bucky Blue, Hopple Up, Hackatom, Aman, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudock, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, and our newest patron, the Snack Network. Thanks for the support, guys. Also, don't forget to come hang out with us in the Discord. All of the links will be in the show notes. Now that we've made it through. How's everybody today?
Doing great. It's been a great day so far. Definitely looking forward to talking a little bit of PlayStation, talking a little bit of video games. So I'm excited to round up this news because it has been a big week in it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I'm super happy to kind of finally come on the No Limits podcast. I've been wanting to do this show for a long time. Super big fan of your work, Brianna, as well as Taylor, Sam, the whole crew over here. So really happy to kind of jump into it today.
I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm really glad that you guys are able to make it. I've been looking forward to this. So, okay, so now we can kind of talk about what have you guys been playing recently. I do have a special note for myself, so I would have forgotten. I'm glad I made that note.
You didn't write it down.
I literally wrote that, and I read that just barely, and I was like, thank God. Yep. But yeah, what have you guys been playing?
It's been a pretty decent week. It's been spreading it a little thin, so I've been getting a little bit of Mario Odyssey. It's one of those that I missed a couple years back. Decided to pick it up because the Twitterverse decreed it.
I forced him to do it, basically. I strong-armed him.
They put a blue shell to my head and they said, "You're gonna play Mario." And sure enough, I've been playing it and I've been enjoying myself a lot. It's actually a great time. I'm pretty sure I'm in the final stretch. I'm at the lunch.
Oh, wow.
Kingdom. So I think I need like 4 more kingdoms and I'm done. But it has, I talked about it before in I believe it was our last episode, but I have not had a Mario game really come close to Super Mario World for me. That's been my kind of pride and joy. Not even done with Odyssey yet, and I'm like, it's up there. It might, as long as it sticks the landing, which from everything I've read and heard about, it probably will. It just may take over for my favorite Mario game. So definitely looking forward to finishing that one up. But over on the more Xbox side, I've doing my classic see what's leaving Game Pass, try at breakneck speed to play it. So I've been playing a little bit of Firewatch, and I've been playing a little bit of Lake because both of those games are going to be heading off December 15th. So beautiful little bite-sized games. I'm having a good time with them. They're fun, relaxing, after a nice workout or just after a hard day of work, you kind of sit back. You get to be a male person. You get to be a what is this, like
a national wildlife person?
Park ranger.
Park ranger.
Yep. So that's been very fun. And then alongside those two, I've also been playing Unpacking, which I don't believe is leaving soon, but it's just another one of those fun bite-sized games, that has that light storytelling of your character just kind of going through the ups and downs of unpacking their life with roommates, with potential, spouses and or just folks that get like partners. And then, sometimes you got to move back home as it is and then make sure that all your new stuff fits with your old room. So it's been a nice one there too. And then finally, PlayStation side, I've been blowing the lid off. I've been having a blast on the PlayStation side. I've been playing Callisto. It's been spooky. It's been fun. I haven't beat it yet.
Okay.
Because I've been playing everything else. but Callisto is great. I've been having a blast playing through that one. I'm still at the very, very tail end of Ragnarok. I beat all the story. I have to beat the hardest boss in the God of War series that I've ever fought so far. She's beating my ass, but we will prevail. Just hasn't happened yet.
Mm,
So, and I'm trying to think. I think there's I also have that other demo that you're going to talk about in a little bit, Bree. But I've been playing well, at least downloaded it, so I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I've been watching other people play it.
okay.
One of my folks that I watch is Great Game Breaker God. Shout out to him. He's been kind of retooling and showing people how the combat will work. And I'm really excited because I kind of wrote it off, talking about Forspoken, not to bury the lead too much, but I kind of wrote it off. I was like, oh, it's going to be just a visual showcase and not much combat. Maybe the traversal has been fun, but he's making it look pretty fancy with the
Mm,
combat. So I'm excited to kind of really dig my teeth in there and see how it works. But that's
yeah.
been me for this week.
For Callisto, you'll have to let me know how you feel if you make it to the final boss.
Mhm. Everyone's been telling me, because I got a friend Shady who beat the game a little bit before me, and he was
Uh,
like, "Oh, I'm having a blast too." And he gets to the final boss, and he said, "I've never raged more in my entire life
This is fucking bullshit.
than fighting the
yeah.
final boss." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a little scared because I'm playing on max
Yeah.
security, and things are a little tough. If they hit you twice, it's kind of go, which is fun
Yeah.
because the death screens are cool. Classic Dead Space ish.
I can't tell you how angry the final boss fight made me. I literally was like messaging and I was like, no, you guys don't understand. I hate this boss fight more than I hated all of Chain of Memories Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Like, I hated that entire game, gameplay wise, and I would rather play that entire game than go through that boss
the
fight
boss fight
again.
again.
Wow.
So for
Wow.
you, it was like Callisto was okay until you got to the end, and then you were like, "No, this is
Oh, I was
ridiculous."
so mad. I honestly, I did not connect with the combat in the game at all.
Gotcha.
I think they were just really trying too hard to do something different when they could have just had like a regular combat system, and I think that the game would have been
Much
just
better.
fine.
Gotcha.
Now,
Just fine with a regular combat system.
Based on what you know about like my flavor profile, my
Yeah.
taste in gaming, do you
Yeah. Yeah.
think Callisto is a game for me?
Is it a game for you? I would say so. I would, for you, wait until it goes on a little bit more of a sale. Like
Okay.
right now, you're paying 70 for it for the standard. And I think that's
Yeah.
fine for me because I like the visual feast that it's giving me. The game is beautiful.
Oh, it
I
is beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I really like the spooky vibes. People said it wasn't really scary, and I mean, I thought initially it wasn't, but the later it gets into the game, it's getting a little
Hmm.
spooky. It's getting a little scary. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
feeling it
Okay.
there.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear because that's really what I wanted. I want the scares.
Yeah, but like let it hit
it's
50, and I think you'll be a lot happier with it.
Okay.
it's not going to like be super scary, just to like kind of forewarn you. So if you're looking for like, because they kind of sold this as like this is going to be the scariest game you've ever played,
No, it's not that.
and
Quadruple
it's
A.
not. It's really not. So don't go in expecting that because you will be very disappointed.
Mhm.
Okay.
But if you just go in expecting like just like a little spoopy experience, then
I'm
that'll be fun.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get the game at some point. I'm gonna maybe keep my eyes out for I have it on my wish list, so I'm gonna keep my eyes out for like a sale. But whenever I do get it, I'll strap on that old heart rate monitor and throw it on stream to see how truly scary it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one part you'll have to do is again, let me know how the final boss is. Ethan ended up DNFing the game. He like deleted it off his
Oh, off the final
console.
boss?
Wow.
Oh,
No,
no.
he didn't even make it to the final boss. There's a boss
Okay.
that's like 2/3 of the way through that's like kind of a prequel to the final boss that was
Mhm.
a very frustrating combat again, but
Okay.
not as frustrating as the final boss. But yeah, Ethan dipped out there.
Is
Interesting.
I guess not super spoilers, but
So
is that the one right after when you're on the minecart and you have to do, like, the onslaught of enemies and then you fight the mini boss?
yeah, it's like you're in that I don't know what it is, but it is some sort of like
Yeah, it's like a
cart
big
or
old drill, right?
whatever.
Yeah, you're just kinda rocking and
And
people are jumping onto it.
yeah, and there's like people like falling. It's like got weird like particle effects with like the characters being dragged a little bit. I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know what that is, but yes, that thing.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
There's like a couple of those, but it's like the bigger one where there's like an encounter and then there's like a few enemies and then there's a boss, but it's not really like a boss. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Nick, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing a few things. I just recently started Vampire Survivors, which I played on stream a couple times, which amazing, really, really good game. I'm not really one for these kind of like toned down, graphically, non-intensive pixel art games. A lot of indie titles, they do lean into that aesthetic, and that's not necessarily. It doesn't speak as much to me, and so I'd see people talk about this game and play it, and I'm just like, I didn't understand what they meant. I didn't understand when they were like, this is one of the best indie games. I didn't even understand why it was included in like, I'm pretty sure it was in the indie game of the year category for the TGA, but after putting a few hours, just a few hours into this game, immediately it hooked me. There's just this constant rush of dopamine that is coming to my brain from doing all of the right things at the right time. I feel like I'm a running back in the NFL, just dodging people, going back and forth and leading on the enemies one direction so I can open up a hole and like go into, another direction. I think that there is the most mild of strategy that goes into it. And of course, like other people have said about this game, a lot of it is just RNG. You get lucky, you kill the right enemies and it's going to spit out a chest, and that just kind of keeps that gameplay loop going over, just hoping that you get the right things. But one of the things that I'm really having fun is going on the back end and figuring out the right combinations to apply to the characters. What buffs am I going to use? What character am I going to go into the situation with to unlock it? Because it's really important the type of power-ups that you get in the beginning, because you level your character up through that 30-minute time span. And so you have 30 minutes to play through that. And usually I don't think I've made it to the 30-minute mark. I have seen the boss of the first level, which was interesting. I kind of ran away from him because I didn't even think I was going to touch him or hurt him. I wasn't at that level quite yet. But needless to say, I was very, very impressed with how they were able to put together this kind of minimalist game design in a way where they have the sound like that. The actual soundtrack slaps, and it just makes you bob your head the entire time you're playing, which is always great. And so I'm having a really good time with Vampire Survivors. I'm gonna play it until I get tired of it. I'm not gonna do the collective fun in this game. I'm not gonna get the 1,000, and that's okay. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been playing some more of Pokemon Violet. Now, the whole thing about Pokemon, look at this face. Look at his face right now. Look at William. He is so disgusted with me that I'm playing this game. He's so upset right now. And
You've made your choice.
when you made your bed, you will live in it. Yeah. So it's one of those where I I'm in this space right now where I'm having a good time playing it, and it's very it it's very kind of samey for a lot of the Pokemon experiences that we've had across the board. I played Pokemon Sword and Shield. There were moments in that game that were compelling. There were moments in that game that were fun, but none of it truly spoke to me that much. And I think that part of that just has to do with the fact that, again, something that we've said over and over, you know, when talking about Pokemon, is that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company just aren't giving their developers enough time to make a quality game that are worth Nintendo fans, that's worth the money, first of all, but just worth kind of the time. A lot of the
Mhm.
times I talk about games and I talk about how worthy is this experience of your time, because when I feel like my time is being wasted, I'm an old man now. I'm an old man, and when I feel like, I'm not being respected in the experience that I want to buy into, especially with a game that has the legacy and the prestige of Pokemon. It gives me bad vibes. It gives me bad feelings. That's not to say that there weren't good parts about Sword and Shield, and there are definitely good parts about Pokemon Scarlet Violet. There are things that I think people don't necessarily talk about in terms of the open world concept. Pokemon Scarlet Violet, they are taking a lot of good elements from good open world games, letting the player choose where they want to go in the direction. I'm at a space right now in the open world where I can go to a Titan Pokemon and do a Titan battle if I want to. I have the choice of 3 gyms that I can go to in any order. I don't know which one I'm going to go to. I got Fuecoco. I'm specializing in fire type. I have a nice roster of Pokemon that I've built right now. That's fun. Throughout the map, there are scattered events where there are terrestrialized Pokemon, where it's like, it looks like just gemstones that are sticking on the ground. You walk up to it and it puts you in this like raid type battle. And that's where the multiplayer element comes in, where if you have, friends that are on the network, you can invite them and they can raid with you and fight, this relatively harder Pokemon. And you can also go to those to get a type that you don't have, to maybe fill out your roster with Pokemon that level is at a decent at a decent rate for you to go into like a gym situation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So and also the animation techniques that they're using, especially in those terrestrialized events, as well as the gyms, there's so much a higher level of refinement in those localized environments as opposed to the open world. The open world kind of looks like your cookie cutter sameness that you see in all the screenshots and everything that has come out in terms of the advertising of this game. But what I think people don't talk about or show is how kind of cool and special a lot of the visuals and the animation are in those things. So it's like I want to try to do my best to, respect and give credit where credit is due in this game. I am gonna finish it. I'm too deep in now. I don't know if I'm gonna fill out my Pokedex or not. That's a whole nother situation. But I at least want to get all my gym badges and do all of the normal open world stuff, and do the legendary thing. So there's that. Um, and so yeah, I beat Metal Hellsinger last night.
Here you go.
That
Beat.
let's see it. Let's see it. I beat it. I beat it. Yeah, that's my guy right there. That's my guy. He's got a little smile just for me. I love
Mhm.
him. Metal Hellsinger, great game. Got totally. I'm sorry. I'm going a little long on here, but I totally think that they got snubbed for the soundtrack of the year. I said this on Twitter
Mhm.
just recently, and don't get me wrong, like the sound design, the soundtracks for all of the games that were in the nominations for TGA this year were very, very good, very well done. I mean, and people will say the same thing about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I believe it. I love that kind of music too. They all have their own specific brand and flavor. I am a metal head. I love metal music, and some of the artists that they got to collaborate with, the composers for the soundtrack, Two Feathers, are like all stars, like all time, like great metal singers that you will ever get. And it's like to me, it was like Metal Hellsinger's soundtrack is just like one of those like once in a generation style game. And I just feel like maybe it should have had a little bit more consideration in
Mhm.
that regard, because we're gonna get those sweeping, epic, symphonic, soundtracks and scores in a lot of AAA titles, but we're not going to get something like Metal Hellsinger anytime soon. I can guarantee that. Um, so there's that. And then one last game that I've been playing to close it out this conversation is I am halfway through Somerville, which
Ooh.
I am
Nice.
loving. I am loving this game. I loved all those games. I loved Inside. Inside was like, I think I experienced that in 2016. I don't know if that's when it came out, but it was like one of my favorite games of that year,
Mm.
when I got my hands on it. And this is just going to be more of the same from that production studio. And I think the developer is slipping my mind, but they are just perfect at this experiential storytelling and the world building. This one is also like they're all a little sci-fi, a little kind of mystical, a little mysterious.
Jump ship?
Um, yes, I think it is Jump Ship who's the dev studio for the for those games.
Love
But
that game.
I'm really, really liking the direction that they're taking it. It is very much, speaking to everything that I want in a sci-fi story. And it's, about a man who's trying to go track down his wife and child. And I think that it's very compelling so far. So more to come on that when I finish it out. And that's gonna be it for me.
Well, it sounds like you've been having a great time with video games. It's been video games are the coolest. I get so
Been good.
excited about it,
Yeah, yeah,
especially like the week of like big events like the Game Awards. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
what a time! What a time.
yeah, seriously.
Um, I haven't been playing much this week. In terms of games, I have been playing Tunic. Um, I knew I needed to play the game, and then seeing like how many awards it was nominated for, I felt really almost like guilty that I hadn't played it yet because I knew that I wanted to and that I would love the game. So I have been playing it. I've been having a great time with it. It
Okay.
has fantastic level design. It's so cute.
Is it
Um,
hard?
it is.
Okay.
It's
Hmm.
not like the most difficult game that I've ever played, but I would say it's definitely hard. One of the cool things about the game, but also is kind of like a double-edged sword, is that it lets you go wherever.
Oh,
Interesting.
There are some things like that you have to like get a certain item to traverse the area, but in general, they just kind of like let you go.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
For
you can
better or for
kind
worse,
of
right?
wander your way into some areas that you're maybe not supposed to be in. Um, but yeah, I could not recommend this game more highly. There's this really cool mechanic. It's called I think it's called the instruction manual, but it's a manual left from like the old hero that like you pick up pages of this instruction manual and it looks like one of those old game manuals, and you pick up page by page and it'll tell you like so you'll pick up a page and it'll be like, oh, this is like part of a map for this area maybe, or like this gives you instructions on like what this item might be and like how to use it and stuff like that. So it has this like really bizarre like reveal of like what the abilities are that you already have but you don't
Mhm.
know what's going on. just through this manual that you slowly receive, and you're like, "Oh, I could have done this the whole time? Like, I didn't know that I could do this kind of thing." It's very interesting. It's a fantastic
Interesting. Yeah,
game.
it is fascinating. I started playing Death's Door, and I think a lot of people made
Oh, Death's
comparisons
Door is
to
so
those 2 games.
good.
And yeah, did you finish Death's Door? Because I really wanna go forward. How long of experience do you think that is?
I don't remember. I can check my Steam though. Let
Okay.
me.
Yeah, I mean, don't I just know that I think a lot of people made comparisons between the 2 because of how
It is, yeah.
similar aesthetically they kind of tend to be in terms of the way they play out, but, yeah, I wanna be a cute little foxy boy and,
Oh,
run
he's
around in that
so cute.
Zelda-style world.
Like Fox Link is what everyone's looking at.
Yeah, yeah, he's basically like a little fox link, and I love kind of that stylized, very high contrast, glossy sheen that they have to their environment. I really like that because it gives me similar vibes to Link's Awakening, and Link's Awakening, like, very quickly became one of my favorite Zeldas ever, so I really I love that.
Looks like I was in there for 13
Oh,
hours-ish.
Oh,
not
that's
bad.
not bad, that's not
Not
bad at
bad.
all.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty, like, small experience, but Death's Door is really great. There's a lot of, pretty intense story beats that you're not really expecting, and plus, like, the ambience of the world, like, it's really cool. I love that game so much. They're like, the boss names are so creative, like,
Yeah,
that game is fantastic. So,
okay,
yeah, absolutely
awesome.
shout out to Death's Door. Um, and then I do have a note here to speak about Forspoken demo. I did play the whole demo. I only played like a little bit of like the outside stuff. I mostly did like the main little quests, and then I did the extra quest that's at the end where you have to fight like a boss thing. The combat was insanely fun. The visuals were insane. Um, I'm very much looking forward to this. Okay, I have to say, if they don't do anything to this game as it is right now, I think the game will flop.
Mm,
However,
Okay,
as long as they make small updates, which is I'm pretty sure what the beta's for, is like to like smooth out gameplay, smooth out visuals, like just like polish the game, then it's going to be a fantastic game. Um, but yeah, it definitely feels like a beta. It's like, okay, yeah, this is definitely the beta of a game, not like the actual game, or
mhm,
at least that's what it feels like to me. So as long as they like make like they like polish up the game and make it into like the final version, this game has so much potential to be fantastic. The magic system is done in a way that I've never really seen. And it makes me really excited to use the system because you get basically a bunch of spells that you unlock. You can switch different magic types. You have like different spells, like you have healing and shielding spells on the left L2, and then R2 is going to be like your damage spells and stuff like that. And you can kind of switch between different magic types and spells and all of that. It's
okay,
fantastic. And
interesting.
not to mention the parkour.
I did see the
Is
traversal
it
So
good?
ability.
cool.
It looks
Oh,
It's
cool.
okay,
so
Looks really
okay.
cool.
cool.
You get me every time. The games, they will get me every time. If you have a good parkour, a good traversal system,
So
I'll fucking play it. I'm a
Mhm,
complete shill for that sort of thing. The one question that I had, I saw Imran Khan, who's he's a journalist over at Fanbyte right now, and I saw him tweet out some gameplay footage, and he was like, "I'm having a good time with the combat. The traversal is fun. The game looks okay. I just can't get these characters to shut the fuck up." Did you get that feeling? Did you get, like, feeling where, like, "Can you be quiet and just let me play?" Or did that bother you at
um
all?
It didn't bother me. I don't know if it changes. I don't know. I played in Japanese. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if
Okay.
that like changes the experience at all. Like if it's maybe the voice actors. I genuinely don't have any idea. Because I would assume that he may have played in English. I don't
It
know.
wasn't the gameplay footage was
Um,
in English, yeah.
okay,
Did you
yeah.
not
So
wanna do the English version? Because that was kind of the allure to that game for me was kind of the English dub. It seemed more localized.
Um, I think that the English dub will be fantastic. I just genuinely like I've heard like the voice and like the trailers and stuff and it seems great. I'm just like kind of a sucker for Japanese, I
That's
guess.
fair.
so if
That's
you get the
fair.
chance to,
So,
you switch it over, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like it's a good chance to like I don't know, like anything that I can like absorb in Japanese, like it helps. Like I understand that a lot of it's like colloquial terms and like not necessarily stuff that you'd use in your day-to-day life if you were wandering Japan, but it's still Japanese and so it still helps. And on top of that, from the most part, I from what I've experienced, Japanese is like less jarring for me.
Hmm.
Um,
Especially coming from Square Enix, I would be willing to bet.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of that was like kind of my thought. I usually go for the to be fair, I usually go for the original voice acting.
Okay.
Um because in my mind that's like the intended voice actors and that's the intended like chosen voice for the role. So that's why I like if like a show's in Korean, I'll watch it in Korean. Like if it's Chinese, I'll watch it in Chinese, like so on and so forth.
Okay.
There's fair there's a few exceptions to that,
Mhm.
but generally try to stick with the same language just because I feel like it's the voice of the character.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend just jumping in the demo. It is a hefty demo. It's like 30 gigs.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had to
Um,
delete some things to make some space
yeah,
for it. So,
it's pretty thick,
Sheesh.
boy. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's really fun. I'm really excited that like one of the systems you get to do is you get to paint your nails.
oh,
Hey,
I was very
yo.
excited about that. It like so like you can paint your nails different designs on both hands and that like gives you buffs. Like it gives buffs to your magic. And then you can also change like your cloak which and your necklace,
Oh,
like the
that's
stuff you're
rad.
wearing and it
That's rad.
looks so cool.
Let's go.
Um but yeah, as far as like terms of like the voice acting, I was not annoyed. But
Okay. Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is everything for that. We'll jump into the news. Before we jump into the news, I do want to warn people. The news is extra juicy today. As far as like in terms of like thick, like no news stories, we have like the Game Awards stuff. We have some stuff about Diablo. That's going to be a pretty big story, and then we have a slightly bigger-ish story with like the Ben's story stuff. So this might go on a little long. I'm sure you've already seen how long it is, like when you're clicking play on this.
Yeah.
But this might go on long. So,
I opened up our
all
doc
right.
and I was like, "Let's go. We're
yeah.
strapping in
Let the
Uh,
today."
Game Pass boys go.
yeah. All right. So, we're just gonna blast through this first one here. So, Final Fantasy 16 has, sorry, this is the Game Award announcements. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
blast through all of them. Final Fantasy 16 received a new trailer and is revealed to have a June 2023 release date. From Software revealed Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon to be released in 2023. Hades 2 was announced for a gameplay trailer early access set for 2023. Ken Levine, the creator of Bioshock, revealed his next game, Judas. Death Stranding 2 was officially announced. Idris Elba has joined Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. The major 2023 expansion was shown via a new gameplay trailer. Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer confirmed that it's going to be released March 17th, 2023. Diablo 4 trailer confirmed June 6th, 2023 release date. Street Fighter 6 confirmed to June 2nd, 2023 release date. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League trailer revealed the game will include Kevin Conroy and has a release date of May 26, 2023. The first Super Mario Bros. Movie clip revealed that it revealed Mario's first introduction to pipe travel.
I
Um,
thought I was gonna say
Tekken
something else. I was like, "Okay."
Tekken 8 trailer confirmed the return of Jun Kazama, which is the mother of one of the characters.
Mhm.
Um, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC was announced. The release date will be April 19th, 2023. Crash the Game Awards to reveal Crash Team Rumble, a new 4v4 multiplayer game coming in 2023. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 showed gameplay for the first time. The game is set to release in
So excited
2023.
for this one.
Earthblade from the developers of Celeste shared a first look to be released in 2024. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon announced and will be released March 17th, 2023. New Hellboy game was announced. Crime Boss Rockay City announced with the cast Michael Madsen, Chuck Norris, Danny Glover, Kim Bassinger, Danny Trejo,
Awful.
and Vanilla Ice.
God.
Um, the Lords of the Fallen gameplay was shown, revealed to be a Souls-like game. The Last of Us Part 1 will be released on PC March 3rd, 2023. Returnal's coming to PC early 2023. Baldur's Gate 3 release window of August 2023 was announced. Forspoken demo was released during the Game Awards. We already chatted about that. Transformers Reactivate revealed. Focus Entertainment and Don't Nod's new action RPG Banishers Ghosts of New Eden announced. Immortals of Avium revealed. Gearbox announced Remnant 2 is coming 2023. Blue Protocol, an anime-inspired MMORPG, will be published by Bandai Namco when it's released outside of Japan in 2023. After Us was announced. Replace received a new trailer. Vampire Survivors was released during the Game Awards on mobile. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC was announced, arriving in Q1 2023. Valiant Hearts Coming Home is headed to mobile. Colossal Cave will be released January 19th, 2023. Wild Hearts received a gameplay trailer. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 received a raids trailer. Fire Emblem Engage DLC received a trailer. Dune Awakening showed an in-engine trailer. Destiny 2 Lightfall received a gameplay trailer. Among Us Hide and Seek was announced. Horizon Call of the Mountain received a gameplay trailer. And that's everything.
Ooh,
Wow.
hefty,
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That
hefty,
was a big
hefty.
one.
Oh, reading all of those announcements in like one go, I'm like, we just got
Take a deep breath. Take a
Yep,
deep breath.
get
so
some
much
water.
food right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much sustenance.
There's like, what's funny? While we were watching the Game Awards, I mean, Will and I, we were drinking some Mountain Dew Code Reds with vodka in it.
Yep,
So
yep.
we were just having a good time and we were laid back. But reading this list, like a lot of this stuff, we did know what was coming, but there's plenty in here that was like surprise and
Mhm,
new stuff that was like it's honestly surprise. It is making 2023 look really interesting in terms of how that's going to play out. So I'm excited to get into it.
I'm so excited for so many of these announcements. Like a special shout out to Lords of the Fallen. The gameplay looks so cool.
mhm.
The ambiance of the world. I was kind of like during the stream, I was kind of saying like I'm kind of sick of Souls-like games, but not this one. I know that sounds weird,
You're like,
but
"Give me
I'm
this
sick of
one."
like everybody. I'm sick of everybody trying to make a Souls-like game and like kind of flopping because Souls-like games are popular. I'm like, just make the gameplay you want to make. That's the point I was making during the stream. But this one looks like it's going to be a really good Dark Souls sort of game, and the ambiance of the world looks so dark and creepy and
Mhm.
amazing.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm
Very
just worried
excited
it's
about
gonna have one of those naming issues because I think this is a sequel to Lords of the Fallen, and this one's just called The Lords of the Fallen. So I don't know
that.
if they're gonna
That's what I
make it a
heard,
Yeah.
but
sequel or
I'm
what.
like, oh well.
Someone's gonna be like, "I wanna buy Lords of the Fallen. I wanted it for Christmas," and they're gonna get, oh, the $20 version that came out 3 years
Yeah.
ago, and it's like, "That's not
Right.
what I
Why
Yeah.
is
wanted."
this
Yeah.
real? It just came
Mm.
out. Oh god. Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff coming up. A lot of games that I'm really looking forward to,
Mhm.
and we're just having a great time in video games. I will say there's a couple of things I'm very surprised we didn't see. Um, Hellblade 2, I was expecting to
True,
see.
true.
Yeah.
I was
The
thinking
Yeah,
other
it
that
one I
too.
was.
was really expecting to see was Silksong because Silksong's supposed to be releasing in quarter two.
We're never gonna fucking see
Um,
That's a
that game.
meme. That's a meme at this
and
point.
this is like the last big event, I think, unless they're going to put it in like a state of play or something like that before Silksong's hitting, and we still don't have a release date. So that was my prediction for the Game Awards is that we were
Mhm,
going to see Silksong, and I thought that was a pretty safe prediction. And here we are. We still don't have information on Silksong. I'm
yep.
totally okay with them taking as long as they want with that game,
Yeah.
but I just want to play it,
Did you were you were you
please.
big into the OG Hollow Knight? Was that one of your
Yes,
games on your list? Okay. Yeah, I
I do
didn't
love
I
Hollow Knight so much.
okay, okay. I was a big Celeste person, but I never really touched Hollow Knight, so I understand that a lot of people who love that like grueling 2D leveling combat or are really huge into like Hollow Knight is the truth. So yeah, I'm excited for folks that, are looking for Silksong for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah, Hollow Knight just has this really like there's so many good things about Hollow Knight, like the story, the world, like it is such a true Dark Souls experience where like the story is told like through the world and through like the people you interact with
Yeah.
rather than just like cutscenes and stuff like that. Um and on top of that, the music for the game is fantastic.
Okay.
It's one of those soundtracks that they have a bunch of like ambiance loops basically that you can find on YouTube. And you'll just get like some water noises, maybe some of the noises from the bugs, and then the music just plays.
It's good
Um,
music to study too, huh?
it's fantastic. Yeah,
Okay.
I want
absolutely.
some
Perfect.
lo-fi,
So,
Hollow Knight. Just
Yeah.
call it a
mhm,
day.
Yeah. Lo-fi Hollow Knight beats. It's perfect.
yeah, it's a good time. So yeah,
There's some
anything
good
else that you
surprising
guys
stuff
want to
in here.
shout out here?
Oh, I definitely wanna shout out Hades 2. That was the biggest
Mm,
surprise, I think, for me
Yeah.
for the night, just because I'm not used to Supergiant throwing 2s on the end of anything. They
right?
normally just
They
kinda keep it
jump
pushing.
every time.
Yep, so I'm like,
And
"Okay,
it
they're
was in
gonna
the
get a new game."
pre-show. It was
Was it
crazy.
part of the pre-show, or was it just,
Yeah,
like, super
yeah, it
early
was,
in?
I'm 99% certain it
No,
was in
that
the
one was
pre-show.
part of the main show. That one was for
Yeah,
sure
I think
part
it
of
was just really
the show.
early into it. I think it
Really?
was just super
Okay,
early in
Yeah,
okay,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
because
okay.
I was just impressed. I was like, "Hades 2," I was like, "This looks very familiar." Are they just kinda keeping the same art style and doing nope, it's a 2 on the end, so That
Mhm.
looks really, really cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited. A lot of the character models, I mean, they continue to look great. The gameplay continues to look great. I didn't do like the 100% completion for Hades. I beat it once. It was super tough. And then I
I still have
recognized that the
to.
game wanted you to beat it like 9 more times to get like the true ending. I'm like, I don't
Mm.
think I can go.
Yeah, I still I've same way as you will. I've made it to like on my own merit. I've made it up to the final boss
Mhm.
in Hades and have fought him and I got him in his first phase and then he did the classic Dark
The
Souls. Oh, you thought this
classic.
was over? And I was like, I can't believe you've done this to me. And it's yeah, so I'm really excited for this game, especially if they continue with that same voice acting team that they had in the first Hades. It's gonna be impeccable. Especially
Mhm.
you get a cool female character this time, and so you kind of get to expand more upon that. And I'm pretty certain that are they dipping into different like gods, or is it still sticking to Greek lore? I can't really remember
Greek
based on what
lore.
was
Yeah, it
shown.
looks
Is
like
it
it's
still
still
Greek
sticking.
lore,
Yeah,
Greek
it
Yes,
looks
it's
like
mythology?
Greek lore.
still yeah, for sure,
Okay.
but they're pulling, I can't remember the name of the main character right now, but she is only talked about like, basically, we've lost all of the lore about her over time, and so she's one of the gods, like, or one of, like, the people from Greek
Melinoe.
mythology that doesn't have, like, a lot of information about her left. There's
Oh,
only, like,
interesting.
one short, like, poem or something like that that has information about her. So, it seems like they're using this character to kind of be able to write their own stuff so they don't
That's
have to worry
perfect.
about
That's
That's a good way to
perfect.
do it. So yeah, that looks
for
really, really
sure.
cool. I'm
I'm
also
hyped.
digging that Judas too. Not to cut you off,
Oh,
Nick, but I was
No, no,
like,
it's
Judas
okay.
that
just looks
looks
really
so
cool.
good.
Yeah, yeah, that looks interesting. I just hope that it lands and it brings that same level of artistry that OG Bioshock gave us. Because yeah, I just played through that game the first time this year, and very very interesting, very intense experience that was. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens. I'm okay. Here's the thing: FromSoft games are fantastic. Obviously, they've received numerous awards and critical acclaim across the board. I am a mech guy though. So I am so curious as to what Armored Core 6 because I never played any of the other Armored Cores. I don't know what that gameplay loop is like. I don't know if it's just you clomp around in a big machine and you shoot at target, you go to the next arena. I
That's the
don't
one.
know. It's is that it? Is
That's
that
it.
all there is to
You
it?
said it.
I didn't know if maybe there was going to be more like intense gameplay situations that are going to go into that game kind of the way that Titanfall implemented. Obviously Titanfall, relies on you going outside of the Titan and playing and it has those first person shooter elements there. But I'm very curious to see like what FromSoft is going to bring to the Armored Core series. So that is interesting to me. All of that being said though, Idris Elba being in Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, I think that's going to be
That's
rad, dude.
awesome.
I think it's going to be
Looks
really,
really
really
cool.
cool. I mean, and I know that they're kind of on this track of like just putting huge movie stars in these games, but I genuinely think that that's going to kind of deepen my interest into that Cyberpunk lore for sure.
Yeah, they got me hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Because I'm Cyberpunk, I was like, I'm staying away. That had some of the issues. I'm glad that they're getting fixed. It's definitely making it look more appealing for me in general. But now I saw
Mhm.
Idris is coming, and I'm just like, oh, I
Yeah.
might have to catch it. I might have to get this game.
Yeah, Will and I have been a little bit resistant to it in a long time, but I copped it on discount. I copped 2077 on a discount, so I didn't give them all of my money and that to that extent, so that was fine. Also, Jedi Survivor, I couldn't be more hyped for a video game. I think this is the video game that I am most excited for in 2023. I can't really think even based off of this list that we're looking on right here, I I can't think of any other game that has me more excited than Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I just have a very, very deep love for Fallen Order and what Fallen Order brought to the Star Wars universe. As a huge like Star Wars fanboy and nerd in general, I just think that Cal Kestis has like become one of my favorite characters in the canon in the Jedi, and the fact that Respawn is working with Disney to make sure that everything is integrated and is kind of consistent with the Star Wars lore. It just it feeds into this like sick psychology that the MCU has built up in our minds now that everything has to be connected, but it
Mm.
works. This time it works. And I'm really, really looking forward to see what they do with this one. So that's one of my biggest for sure.
Bree, I'm
Mm.
curious. Have you played through Death Stranding, the first one?
I have not.
Okay. So I guess I'm the only person on the panel right now. I don't know if how interested I guess y'all either are in Death Stranding 2,
It looks
but I
cool as
had
fuck,
I had a
dude. It
great time
looks
with the
so
first Death
cool.
Stranding.
But it's like, I don't wanna walk around for 60 hours, that's
But
my
it's worth
thing.
it. It's worth it. It is
What
worth it.
what is
Oh,
worth it
no.
about it? Explain to
It's
me why it's
okay.
worth it.
This is a game where it's literally the journey, not just necessarily the destination. And the fact that you go through a classic Hideo Kojima game with just these wonky characters, but they're on a surface level, in a normal world, everything looks great. The game is gorgeous in the Decima engine, which is just amazing. It's incredible. I'm glad they're continuing with it. But you have these kind of larger than life overall like characters and just their attitudes, the way they talk, the way they speak. It's almost Shakespearean. But then you also are in this crazy world where you're dealing with these beach things, these ghostly like BTs, which is, at least for me, I think when it came out in 2019, a truly terrifying experience. It was, as far as not really being a horror game, being in those situations where you have to dodge around with the BTs, you got the bridge baby on your chest and you have to use it to see them, quote unquote, kind of see them in the time fall and the rain. It's a super spooky experience. They give you so many different things to do, whether it be like some of the gunplay, and you can choose whether you're going to be lethal or non-lethal. When you're actually just delivering packages, which sometimes you do for the main story, sometimes you're doing for side missions, sneaking into these enemy camps and stealing some of the packages that they've taken
Okay.
so that you can continue some main and side stories. Like I said, it's literally something you just have to experience. I can understand
Yeah.
people looking at it saying it's a literal walking simulator, which it is. You are being the post-apocalyptic postman. You are UPS on steroids. But it's a blast, though. I
I
would
love
recommend pretty much anybody to check it out.
I love most games that do give you me a motorcycle to ride around
It-
in it, so I
It's
think
a good
that
one.
that might be a little bit of a draw, so we'll see. We'll see for
Yeah,
sure.
I will probably play the game. I fully expected to play Death Stranding
Mhm.
at some point. It's just unfortunately there's other games that take my priority.
I feel that
So
for
we'll make
sure.
it eventually.
Yeah. And there are
Yeah.
some good TGA
Um
sales going on too. So I think Death Stranding is like
Ooh.
$19 right now
Oh,
on
really?
PlayStation. So there's a couple of sales going on.
Oh. All right, let's jump into this not as fun story.
Okay. Um, so this is the kind of tied to the Diablo 4 announcement.
Mhm.
We got a really cool cinematic trailer that got me personally excited to see like
Mhm.
what Diablo 4 is going to become, but this, what we've received here kind of seems like it's kind of a little bit on the rough side, and this is coming from Brendan Sinclair over at GameIndustry.biz. In a post published this week from the Washington Post, a number of current and former Blizzard employees who worked on the project described a troubled development process. The article posted was based on discussions with 15 current or former Blizzard employees. While the current plan is for the game to release on June 6th, they said it has already been pushed back multiple times, and even meeting this date is likely to require significant crunching. While Activision Blizzard is not mandating crunch, it is incentivizing it with perks some developers described as paltry. Those perks range from $25 in DoorDash credit for people working more than 10 hours a day to a stock bonus plan where developers who finish the game and stay with the company for at least a year, uh, can get anywhere from $5,000 for entry level employees to $50,000 for senior level developers in stock if performance targets are met. If performance targets are met, that's very important.
Mhm.
Employees blamed poor management for the crunch and the repeatedly shifting release date. Original director Luis Barriga and lead designer Jesse McCree, both of whom were fired last August in the wake of state and federal gender discrimination lawsuits against Activision Blizzard, were blamed for not following through on decisions, abandoning features, and throwing away the work already done on them, micromanaging, pursuing certain elements of the game, and then losing interest in delegating them for others to finish, a process that was said to begin burning people out. I wonder why that would happen. Former Epic Games and Irrational Games veteran Rog Ferguson was also cited as a problem. Having parachuted into Irrational Games late in Bioshock Infinite's development, Ferguson had some reputation for getting troubled games across the finish line. However, Blizzard employees said when he joined the team in February of 2020, his big contribution seemed to be launching a Rodcast weekly Zoom meeting where several hundred people would listen to him mix addressing legitimate development issues with talk of movies or celebrities he knew. People got frustrated because we all thought he was going to come in and fix the game, one former employee said. And when nothing happened, that's when you start seeing this massive turnover. Other factors that developers had said exacerbated the loss of experienced developers and institutional knowledge were poor pay, unsatisfactory working conditions, and morale. after the company's gender discrimination lawsuits landed, senior leadership changed at both Blizzard and on the project itself. And Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick blamed the publisher's failing stock price not on mounting scandals it was facing, but on the delays of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, which one developer said did not go over well. Again, I wonder why. For those at Blizzard Albany, seeing their former studio head Jen O'Neill promoted to co-leader of Blizzard and then resigned months later, saying Activision Blizzard refused to pay her the same as co-leader Mike Ybarra, was a further blow. You're like, man, I feel like I'm working for the bad guys, one woman who formerly worked at Activision Blizzard Albany said. I feel like any work I do is tainted by this name. A Blizzard spokesperson told the Post, as you may know, game development in general and Diablo 4 specifically follows an iterative process where the scope evolves over time. Production on the game is going extremely well. Overtime is voluntary and limited to specific teams. We regularly survey the team on their professional well being, and the latest results are the most positive they've been in years. So, all that being said, what do you guys think about this?
It's a whole can of worms.
That's a lot to unpack. There's so much to unpack right there.
Yeah. So firstly, I think I just want to say for this last piece that we the last part of the story of it's getting better. Just because it's getting better doesn't mean it's a good work environment. If you go from a grade F to a grade D, it's okay,
it's
maybe you're passing, but that's a terrible grade.
Yeah.
There's just a lot here. It's just they have enough time, enough money, enough resources that they shouldn't be pushing these developers to crunch. They didn't even need to announce Diablo 4 release date.
They didn't.
They didn't need to be hitting this date. We had no idea when Diablo 4 was coming.
Nobody's screaming to the rooftops for more Diablo. I mean, I'm sure there are a small community of people out there that are dying for Diablo 4. And okay, I get it. The Diablo 3 was great. Diablo Immortal is what it is, but this is not something that you need to be pressed about, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing is Diablo is a huge franchise, and I think that a lot of people have been looking forward to this game. So I think this game is going to it's going to hit. There's going to be a lot of people playing this game. However, I don't think that we needed to kill developers over this. You know what I mean? We don't need to be pushing them into crunch. They're already saying we're in December and the game doesn't release until June. So imagine at least 4-5 months of crunch. That is
they know
too much. And they've already been crunching, it sounds like. So
just like they were saying on there, those perks that you're getting for the crunch. $25 in DoorDash for over 10 hours of days of work. That's crazy. If you have people sitting there, crunching and doing all this extra work, you need to be able to just get food available. You need to have food just delivered to them. Just straight up.
Pay out of pocket.
$25 of DoorDash. And then even the other ones, the 5,000 for the entry level, 50,000 for senior level developers, which I'm sure someone on paper would be like, oh, that's a good amount of money to use for this. It's still locking you in with those handcuffs that you have to be there for a year. And you
have to stay with the company.
Yep. And the performance targets need to be met after the crunch. You can't hop around. Performance targets, you have no idea if they're going to be met or not. Sometimes those performance targets that companies want for a game to hit are ridiculous. That's the big thing that happened with Dead Space and EA. EA was like, oh, it's Dead Space. It's a niche
Dead Space 3
game that people love. 2 sold very well, so we're going to put these astronomical numbers for 3, and then we're going to add in the most terrible stuff possible, the classic EA moves. We're going to make you be able to pay for things and just jack the prices up on stuff in the actual game. And then they're shocked when it doesn't hit those astronomical numbers they put up. So then the company gets canned. So it's tough. It's tough out there being a developer.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just think that. So I mean, obviously, good. I'm glad for the team who's currently working on this. It looks like Luis Barriga and Jesse McCree are out. That's good for them. It seems like a classic corporate move to bring in Rod Ferguson, who seems just like some hot shot who has connections throughout the corporate world, probably throughout the games industry, and has been able to maybe create some type of synergy with some teams. But it sounds like he's doing absolutely nothing for the team right now other than being a name. I mean, come on, you're taking time away from developers for them to come on a call and listen to you for an hour. Classic mismanagement on a corporate level, and he's not going to go anywhere. I guarantee you that. And the other person who I'm sad to say probably isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, specifically considering the ABK acquisition stuff, is Bobby Kotick. My hope is, and Ethan has said this quite frequently when the boys discuss it over on Project X Talk. My hope is that if the merger goes through, that Phil Spencer's first moves would be like, your services are no longer necessary. You can step down now. Please go. And that would be the best thing that has happened to Activision Blizzard in years, for Bobby Kotick to just leave the room, just get out, because he is just a toxic personality. And the problem is that the way that corporate culture works is that the people at the top unfortunately set the bar for what the cultural standards are in the management within the workplace. And the fact that he's continuing to say stuff like, we're not performing well because y'all aren't working hard enough, and Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 isn't out yet, so of course our stock prices aren't doing great.
It's like, okay, well, maybe you should look at the lawsuit where like people are literally getting treated like garbage, like less than human, and like weird coincidence there.
So it's just it's really unfortunate, and they have a long way to go to changing that company culture. I'm hoping, I'm praying that they have the right people in place in HR. They have really good DEI people that they're trying to bring in to very, very fiercely scrutinize people who are in positions of power at this company, because that is what this needs. And until that goes through, and until people are able to hold the folks over there accountable for what they say and do to these artists, these very passionate artists on their team, then nothing's going to change, and we're going to keep getting stories like this.
Yeah. This company needs help, to say the least. This is one of the companies that's like, not only are they having, because a lot of game companies have like this time management issue where they force people to crunch. Technically not force, but like wink wink force. But they're also having like all of like the harassment issues. Like, come on. I don't know. Like this, they just need to do something.
See, the thing about crunch is that it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? Because we've talked about this before, Brianna, about how like a lot of artists, they are so passionate about their work, is that they voluntarily crunch because they're so excited about the project, or they want to make it perfect, and they just have that desire to just do it and work an insane number of hours. And I think that precedent was set at some point in the games industry, and now it's become an expectation for a lot of developers and a lot of studios, is that,
versus just like
that's how you get it done. That's how, instead of just sitting there and saying, hey, you've worked 40 hours this week, I'm going to need you to go home. I'm going to need you to log out. I'm going to, deactivate your access to our Active Directory. And so you can come back in on Monday. And that's what good managers do. They look at how much people are saying, are doing me, like, if you come in this weekend, we're going to have problems. You know what I mean? Like, not in the negative way, but more in an uplifting way, I think.
Yeah. It's just like you said, onto the managers and the presidents, just to make sure that these things are taken care of and that your people are taken care of. Someone can want to work 24 hours a day, and obviously it doesn't mean that they should. You want to make sure that they have not only the things in place outside, like an EAP, or people they can talk to, information for them to be able to kind of work through any problems that can affect them on the game or outside in the real world. But then you also want to be just right there in person, like you said, kind of unplug the computer and be like, you got to go outside, buddy. You got to breathe some fresh air.
Go touch the grass.
Go touch grass, bro.
I don't know if you guys remember, there was a story where somebody had cited like too many people going outside, and that's why they weren't selling as many games. I can't remember what company it was, but I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, we've touched too much grass now. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back in.
Come on in.
Plug back into the matrix.
That's a good one. All right, let's jump into story 3.
All right, so we got a one here. I was gonna say fun one, but it's not necessarily fun. But about Days Gone, aka The Dead Don't Ride, my favorite game that I've never played.
Oh my god, here we go.
So here is Days Gone writer and director John Garvin has attributed the game's lukewarm reception to the technical issues and woke reviewers. Ben Studio has responded. So breaking down here further, we do have an article from The Gamer. I believe it was James Troutman that wrote this one up. Garvin has posted a tweet which has since been deleted to explain why Days Gone did not receive positive reviews from critics. The first reason he said was technology-related issues like bugs, streaming, and frame rates. The second he claimed was the reviewers did not bother to play the game before writing their reviews. Classic move. He also said reviewers could not handle a quote, gruff white biker staring at his date's ass, unquote. This isn't the first time Garvin has expressed some pretty controversial opinions. In fact, by his own admission, he was fired from Ben for being a, quote, disruptive personality. Last week, he told gamers that if you love a game, you should buy it at full effing price. He also said people shouldn't be upset if they don't get a sequel to a game if they aren't willing to pay full price for it. Last week, Days Gone developer Ben Studio responded to the criticism from John Garvin and said, "Don't share John Garvin's view on why it was poorly received. We are aware of the comments made by our previous creative director on Days Gone regarding his personal view on the critical reception of our intellectual property. Ben Studio does not share his sentiment, nor does it reflect the views of our team. Our studio is immensely proud of the work we accomplished on Days Gone, and we are thankful to every developer who poured their heart and soul into it. We are incredibly humbled by the support of our Days Gone community, and we will continue to share your enthusiasm for our world and characters as we look forward to the future." And Lukman, Hakim, and Ryan Leston at IGN. So, this is definitely one, like you said, very interesting. It's one of those times when you look over and you think, is social media, Twitter, these kind of spaces, are they always what they're cracked up to be? Because you have somebody with just this kind of unrestricted access that goes and
Yep.
puts out their opinion, which is fine, but it does turn around and can harm intellectual property that, yes, they worked on, but still does affect a team as a whole, an entire community of people. You know, if folks are looking forward to the potential of a sequel for Days Gone, or if they're very proud of the work, and then you turn around and you have somebody who was maybe an upper level essentially talking down on it, and some of the people that played or didn't play it, it can be really disconcerting. So what are you guys kind of
Mhm.
thinking about this article?
I mean, like, honestly, how do you say you're sexist without saying you're sexist? You know what I
Yeah, how do
mean?
you say you're a
Like,
boomer without saying you're a boomer, honestly? Oh my god.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, what a statement. I was just like, when I saw this for the first time, I was just laughing because I was like, what an old person thing to say. Like,
Real.
you
You
can't
can't
handle
think with
this
the
game.
you guys just don't like men staring at ladies' asses anymore. What's wrong with you? Like, come
Old
on,
man
dude.
yelling at clouds. I'm like, what is happening?
Seriously, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand how somebody. I mean, maybe there are plenty of creative directors out there who are talented, but like, I don't know. It's just like the statements of somebody who could come up with. I see here. I also think that maybe this representation of the guy who was the former creative director. I don't know how much involvement he had in on what the end result of Days Gone was, but that also might be like why it doesn't necessarily vibe with me aesthetically. Like, I put 5 to 6 hours into that game max, and I was immediately was like, "Ugh, no, it's not for me." I like put
We're
it
done.
away. We're done. Like I've played zombie games before. I'm good. But I just, yeah, I this is so funny because I think the really interesting part about this is the fact that, John Garvin being in the position that he was over at Ben Studios, saying this kind of shit reflects poorly on Ben Studios. But Days Gone
Uh-huh.
was an SIE exclusive. So that means
Yep.
not only is it reflecting poorly on Ben, but Sony as well. And I guarantee you, he probably got either a few emails or a letter in the mail that says cease and fucking desist right
Stop
now.
it.
I mean,
Stop
the
it.
tweet got deleted almost
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
immediately.
you can't access his Twitter profile.
But the
So
internet
yeah.
doesn't
Uh,
forget.
Hey, we
The
don't. We
internet
no.
don't.
never
We already
forgets.
saw
No.
it. We already saw it.
No.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah, honestly, it's just like the thing is like I don't understand how he's like self-admitting like, "Oh yeah, I was a disruptive personality." Like, is that like a proud point for you?
Yeah,
Like,
some
are
people are
you
proud about that.
proud that you're being a jerk? Like, I don't know. Like, he just does not seem like the kind of person I would vibe with at all. And I
Like, I
think
don't fit
Ben,
in.
yeah, he's not like the other guys.
Oh, good.
I'm different. I'm
Goosebumps,
different.
heebie-jeebies.
So I think that Bend's studio is clearly better without this guy. I feel bad for the studio. I can't even remember where he's working currently. He's working on like Ashfall, I think.
Mm.
Wherever it is, I'm sure they're
So
sweating right now. They're like, "Oh
yeah.
god, what is he gonna say about our
Please.
game?"
Yeah. So I think Ben's studio is better off, and I think I'm really glad that they have the opportunity to make another game. We'll see where they go, if they go Days Gone 2 or if they're going to go with a completely different franchise, and we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. Shout out to the voice actor for the lead character though. I love my boy Star Killer. So you
Yes,
gotta
Star
give that
Killer,
man more
yes.
work. So that's the only highlight in that game for
Also in
me.
Callisto Protocol, that man's getting around. Hey,
Oh, is he in
he's
Callisto?
yep.
Is he the main character?
No, no, no. He's one of the, like, head prison guards when you first get there, you run
Oh,
into
okay,
him.
fascinating. Cool.
Callisto, man.
Mm. Is
Still
it
thinking
still
about the final boss.
is it still
Yeah.
in your brain?
PTSD.
It's in your
I
head?
like have
Yeah.
like PTSD from that game, I
That's what I'm
think. I
saying.
would every time like a screen would pop up that kind of looked like Callisto during the Game Awards, I was like, is this a Callisto thing? I was like scared. And
You're like the
Ethan was like,
dog
what
with
is
the
wrong with you?
playing I'm thinking about
uh
Callisto, the final
yeah,
boss.
I know. I was like, oh no, save me.
You're
And
like,
they're
"I'm
like,
saving
did
you."
you
No,
see that
please.
they're like the DLC that they're planning is like more death animations? I'm like, who's gonna go back for more death animations? I
Oh,
don't
me.
know.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
I'm
That's not
I'm
I'm a
signing up
me.
sicko.
for it.
I like watching
I
Saw and
deleted
all
the
those
game
movies
and
and
I was
sick.
like, you cannot get me to download this again unless you want me to play like DLC or like
I
story
like it I like
DLC.
it when
Yeah,
they
they should do
chomp
some
the
story
head.
DLC later, so that's
I
cool.
like it when they chomp the head and you see like that vertical slice and the brain is like slipping out. You know what I
Oh,
mean? It's
uh,
great. It's great. No,
it's not
I
as
watched
no.
it's
that.
not as gross as
It's not as
Ragnarok, but it was pretty nasty.
Ragnarok wasn't. You thought Ragnarok was
No,
gross?
Ragnarok was disgusting, dude. I
What
keep
parts were
talking about this, and I
disgusting?
will continue bringing this up. The wolf where they rip
Yeah,
the
we ripped down the
jaw.
front
Oh my!
over.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
Literally, I could
so
watch
good.
any of the animations in Callisto. I could not watch that one. I was so grossed out. I was
See, the
so
thing
grossed
that
out.
see, like, that okay, I that is very, very, like, hyper violent, but the thing that bothers me more in Ragnarok is when he, like, snaps the neck of the
Ah,
lion, the antler lion things,
that actually
like,
Oh,
didn't bother
it
me.
bothered me
he's
a
an
lot
animal
because
king at heart.
he had to, like, do it, like, a bunch of times to actually kill it, and I'm just like, "Can you just leave it alone?" It's like, it doesn't wanna fight anymore, just let it go,
Yeah,
Kratos.
see, Nick is waiting for that
Ah,
PETA mode so that he
Yeah,
can
yeah,
take out
he's
Hade the
like
I
right
he's
need the
like
way.
PETA
save the
mode,
animals.
exactly.
I don't
Let them go away, let them jump
He's like
away and
retweeting all
give
of
me the
Peeta's tweets.
experience.
He's like,
Yeah,
help,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
no cruelty in Ragnarok. All right, let's jump in this next one. We're out of like the negative Nancy stories.
Yeah, we're in the good
So
stuff
we're like
now.
gonna make
Yep.
it we're,
We're in
we're
the
gonna
home
make it
run.
back around to positive stuff. So Media Molecule has announced, well, I guess this isn't positive, but it's like more lighthearted. Media
Mhm.
Molecule, goodness gracious, has announced that the studio co-founder and art director Kareem Atuni is leaving the company. Atuni co-founded Molecule in 2006 with, among others, creative director Mark Healy and technical directors Alex Evans and Dave Smith, who all previously worked together at Lionhead. Shortly after the release of Dreams in 2020, Evans announced that he was leaving Media Molecule to take a break from the game development and explore new opportunities. In a statement released via Twitter on Friday, the Dreams and Little Big Planet maker confirmed that Atuni would be leaving, or sorry, will be moving on in early 2023. Kareem Atuni, Media Molecule's co-founder and art director, has decided to move on from Media Molecule. Since day one, Kareem has been essential in defining the look, the feel, and without a doubt, the very ethos of who we are and what we do at Media Molecule. We are forever grateful for everything he's done for us and our community. He'll be leaving us in early 2023. It wouldn't feel right for Kareem to depart without a personal goodbye to the community, so we'll be streaming live with him on January 17th, 2023. We'll be looking back at his time at Media Molecule and checking out a few of his personal dreams highlights. He'll see you there. This comes from
Oh,
Tom Ivan at VGC.
yeah, it's a little lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad to see him go, but time to work on other stuff, you know?
Did you guys
Either
so
you
I know I'm sorry, go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say if either of you had a chance to play through, any of those games, either Dreams or Little Big Planet games. I know there've been a couple
Uh,
across the PS3 and PS4.
I
I've
missed
touched Little Big Planet just a little
Mhm.
bit, but it was like I just had like downloaded it like off of like I got it for free somehow. So I
Yep.
just kind of touched it a little bit, didn't really play it. Dreams I've not played. It's not that I'm not interested in Dreams, but when it was released, I wasn't really playing games
okay,
that often. So
that's fair.
missed it.
Yeah, I have never played Little Big Planet, although that
Oh,
was like one of the things that I was really sad about not having a PS3 for because I think like that's when Little Big Planet really popped off was with
yep.
the PS3 era and it just looks like a super cute little platform and it's just got a very very nice aesthetic. I like the idea of Dreams and I respect the hell out of Dreams for like what it's doing to like the game loving community out there because I know there are so many kids who went out and bought Dreams and have now learned how to use active like real life dev kits and dev tools
Mm-hmm.
from their time in Dreams, which is just incredibly impressive in terms of them being able to put that into like one package and allow folks to recreate stuff. Like, I mean, they're like kids are literally just recreating games with the Dreams overlay. I mean, I think I've seen
Mm-hmm.
like Metal Gear Solid or something like
Mhm.
that made in
Yep.
Dreams, and other like really impressive titles that take so much work and time and dedication. So, I hope that, I am sad to see that Kareem is leaving the studio, since he seems to probably be a very big thought director in pushing that company forward. But Dreams also, as a product and as a package, seem very much more of like a thought piece, as opposed to like a real statement in games.
Mhm.
So I'd be really interested to see if they can put something else together that's going to maybe speak to a wider audience, as opposed to people who kind of just want to mess around with dev kits. So that's just me.
Yeah, I think like you said, I actually might tune into the stream. I think that that might be a fun thing to do. But yeah, I think like I'm interested to see where he goes. I'm wondering if he's going to stay in industry or if he's going to like go to a different industry completely, and then we don't really hear about him at all. Who knows? But I think this is an interesting move, and I think that it was cute that they're like, "Hey, we just wanted to let you know he's leaving." Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. It was just cute.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
It's
it's
like a good
nice.
thing,
It's
especially after
wholesome.
these last few we listened to. We've, either a creator director that's kind of off the rails
It's
or a
your
yeah.
team that's
fault.
falling apart.
Yeah,
It's nice to have them be
this
like,
game is
"Hey."
bad because of you.
Yep. God. He's like, "Oh, someone's leaving on good terms, and we really appreciate them, so we're gonna give them a good send off." And I'm like, I think kind of like you, Bree. I think I might tune in, necessarily not because I'm big on Dreams or that I'm big on Little Big Planet, but it's just great to see someone that's departing a company on great terms and them again being celebrated on the way out. It almost feels rare nowadays, which is sad to say. So I feel like I want to kind of celebrate along with them that this is happening, and hopefully it continues to happen in the gaming space.
I just want to tell all of our listeners you're getting some A+ content. We have a kitty on stream. My cat is
Oh,
actually hanging out with William. I don't know what
Yeah.
Sylvie's doing out there, but that's fucking fantastic.
she's vibing.
Yeah.
She's vibing.
Yeah. Her bed, this is like her cat tree right here. So she usually hangs out there, and then sometimes she'll get on the desk and be
Okay,
like, "Yo, I want to sit in your lap." So
cool. That's awesome.
that's what just happened. All right, let's hit this next one. Another
Okay.
good note.
Another really interesting one that's coming out here. Sifu is getting a live action update with the John Wick creator Derek Kolstad and Story Kitchen working on the film. Kolstad will be adapting the script, and he will produce alongside Story Kitchen's Dimitri M. Johnson, Mike Goldberg, Dan Jevons, Timothy I. Stevenson, and Jeff Ludwig. That's not the Ludwig composer that we all know and love, is it? I think that's no. He's Ludwig
Yeah,
von Gorsten is I think his
yeah,
his
Von
name. Yeah,
Gorenstein.
yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's coming from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN. All right, I'm just gonna start off and say I love Sifu. I've said multiple times. I've like keep repeating myself, and I'm gonna stop doing it eventually. But the fact that Bayonetta 3 won Best Action of 2022 is a fucking travesty. Well, I mean, okay, we get it. We know
You're
what
gonna get
the
attacked. You're
we
gonna
we
get
know
beat
what the
up.
Game Awards. Okay, travesty may be a little bit strong.
It's a
All right, I
lot of
know that
strong.
there are Bayonetta lovers out there, but I mean, I don't know. Come for me, whatever. I don't
There are
care.
dozens of them.
But I mean, first of all, like shout out. I mean, let's be real. When you compare at Bayonetta 3 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and what Modern Warfare 2 has done, whether the improvements, the gameplay, all of the really good shit that is in Modern Warfare, I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but I recognize that is a huge, huge title that didn't really get as much recognition critically as maybe it should have. I don't know. I don't know if people disagree with that, but it's so surprising that that didn't just de facto win it just because of the cachet that Call of Duty has in the community. Sifu is the best game in that list, though. Sifu, like hands down, was intense. I wrote about it in the Offshore Gamecast 2022 Game of the Year article that actually has just posted. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm sorry to plug my own stuff here in the middle of the
No,
show,
absolutely plug your own stuff.
but yeah, we just put that up there, and I talked about like how Sifu was so important to the action genre and how they did a lot of things that weren't necessarily new, but the way that they put all of the elements together, whether it was the roguelike elements, the very unique aging and reincarnation system that they have in there, the skill tree is good. It is this really, really great. See, Will was disagreeing with me. He's like, it's not a fighter. It is a fighter that is veiled behind a third third person action game. You have to like all of the moves that you do, you have to memorize combinations and movesets just like you would any 2D fighting game, and you have to like react and block the same way that you would. It was so fascinating. I know, Will, you're a TMNT Shredder's Revenge guy, and you'll
Yes,
always
yes.
be that guy.
So
And
don't disrespect it because it was also in that
I'm
category.
never gonna disrespect it. I think that game was
Disrespect.
fucking rad, and it had an awesome soundtrack too. But it's just like the fact that Bayonetta 3 won it when it came out and was lukewarm at best. I'm just like, who's making these calls? That's just me. So
My
about
favorite thing is like when people get excited, they're like, "I'm so excited this person won," and then as soon as there's a decision they don't like, they're like, "This is rigged."
This is rigged. Yep.
That's my favorite thing. Who's paying for this?
Can't
who's
believe
paying for
this.
this? Who did you
But
bribe?
but
Yeah,
then whatever
Keely.
whatever they want to win wins, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that absolutely
Oh yeah,
deserves the
100
Oh,
award."
that
I'm like,
tracks.
deserved it.
That tracks.
More like shill Keely.
uh,
No, but okay. So let me say this though, like my opinion. I don't know if you guys have strong opinions about getting this in a live action adaptation.
Mm.
I think one of the strengths of Sifu as a property was the fact that they took elements of kung fu cinema in very purposefully put that into their gameplay, and they put that into the story, the visual action, the art style, the way that the music works whenever your character enters the room, as you move around, as you're working through the combat puzzle that is Sifu, is wholly unique to that experience because it is a game. I don't know how it's gonna play out as a live action adaptation. I don't have I mean, the fact that the John Wick people are working on it is cool, and it kind of, like, lends credit to, yeah, maybe it could be rad, but I'm not holding my breath for this.
yeah, I think it completely depends on how they handle it. If they're going to try and pull like a Ghost in the Shell kind of thing where they're like, "How do we get all white people in here?"
Yeah,
Oh my
Then it would
god.
be like
let's get the
They
white
can't do
folks
that.
out
They
for
then
this
it would be
can't.
one.
like, "All
They
right,
can't do
maybe
it.
don't do
No.
that." If
Who
they
do
do
you
that, I would not be happy about it. But if they actually like treat this movie with like care and like
Yeah.
consult like the culture and
Yeah,
stuff.
consult the developers, get the developers
They
involved
have
and be
to,
like,
for sure.
how do you think
Yeah.
we can pull this off in the film? Because I mean,
Yeah.
that was one of the biggest problems with the Halo show is that they even talked to Bungie. They barely talked to 343 from what it looks like. And so
Yeah.
that's, there's that. But
Yeah,
um
so I think it just, like, depends on if they, like, reach into, like, what Sifu actually is. If they could reach into the core of what Sifu is, I think that this could be a fantastic film. I
yeah,
think it would be a wonderful homage to all of, like, the old action fighting films, kung fu films, and all of
yeah.
that, and I think that would be a really great
Mhm.
time. And I also, I'm very hopeful. I have not seen John Wick, like, I will tell you, like, I've not seen
Oh
it, but I've
no.
Oh
heard that
no,
John Wick is
So
so
sad.
wonderful.
good. So good.
So, since it's the John Wick people, maybe this will be wonderful.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Like if you guys had like a fan casting that you could do, like you can put in there as like the first person to jump in and be the student in Sifu, who would it
Ooh,
be?
I'm so terrible with
You're not
names.
good with
I
names?
don't
Okay.
have any ideas.
Okay.
I will say I really am, of course, always hoping for like the Jackie Chan cameo because that's like
Of
the
course.
best cameo.
Gotta
Jackie
pop up.
Chan,
Like,
he could be I could see Jackie like easily being the first boss. I could see
mm,
him stepping in
It'd
and
be
being the
great.
botenist. Yeah, that would be awesome. What
yeah.
about you, Will?
Even if
I
he's
feel like
just like
Simu
in
would
the
be great.
background. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, true, true.
Yep. I feel like Simu would be great, but it's the thing where like you couldn't be the immediate
Oh,
one because I think you're supposed to be like what 19 or 20. So I mean, I'm
Ooh,
sure
yeah.
you
So
could
he's
shave a
the
little bit
older
yes.
and
one.
try to get the younger. But I
You
honestly
know
would love, especially if they make it a TV show, I would like for them to really lean into the mechanic that happens and have, either at the end of each episode or maybe every other episode, your character gets beat, so then they age. So maybe each episode, or at least as
They
you go
have
through, you have
confirmed it's
three
a
to four.
film.
Okay, so it's a full-on
okay,
film.
yeah, it
Okay.
is a film.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they did
Okay.
confirm it's a film. I
All
mean,
right.
they could
So they
always
could they
change
could
their
do the
minds,
parks.
but
I
They could
think
do some
I think
parks then and try to make it so that you have the different main characters, as they age up, it'll be, 3 or 4 different actors that play the main character. I feel like that'd be a really cool take.
yeah.
I almost wonder if they'll go with the, like, he's never defeated option, or maybe he's only defeated once or twice, so he only ages up a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
To kind of stop, like, having to, like, age up a bunch of people. I don't know. I could see them doing that. I don't know
I
if that's
think
necessarily the right answer, but I
I
could see
think
that.
what they might do to kind of I mean, what I think the smart thing for them to do is have him age up all the way and then
Mm,
die and then have him acquire at like when he's like 70, have him acquire the pendant that will successfully reincarnate him, and then he has the knowledge of his previous like experiences and then go through it again and again, and
And
it'd
then
be
he
this
pulls
like
Avatar: The Last Airbender,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
becomes
basically. Yeah.
reincarnates
What do
in
you
the
think?
next nation.
You're saying, Nick, you think they're not going to murder a child in the first hour of the movie,
Oh,
first
they
30
have
minutes
to
of the
though. They
movie?
have to. They
Well, you
have to
said you
do they
wanted
have
to age all the way up and then get
That's
the thing,
true.
right?
That's true. I
So
don't
it's
know. I
like,
don't know. There's a lot of ways that you could pull it off, but you know who I think will? And this is shout out to you specifically.
mhm,
And I know that the character in Sifu, he is Chinese. It's set in China, but I think that the lead character from the raid would be a awesome. If you wanted
that would
to
be cool.
get like lean into the action, I think that I can't remember that actor's name for the life of me, but if they were able to bring him in there, he would 100% nail exactly what we were looking for, especially with the Thai, like the style of Muay Thai, and that's like mixed with Kung Fu that they have in the game. That'd be
Mhm.
perfect. Perfect.
That would be
Mm.
nice. That'd be a good fit.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit this next one. Oh wait, I have to get my
All
leak
right.
out.
So
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's go.
We got the leak.
The
leaks
leak is
on deck.
here.
All right, so we
Mhm.
got some hot news coming. Hot news, hot news. The Uncharted
I'm
series,
not a
one of
fan
my
of
personal
this.
favorite. I love it so much. I love the Uncharted series. But the Uncharted series is being rebooted, but not by Naughty Dog. Dun, dun, dun. In a new report from TheLeak.co,
Hey.
it is suggested that the Uncharted series has been greenlit for a reboot and will not be developed by Naughty Dog. The developer handling the reboot is unknown, but Naughty Dog is expected to initially assist the new team. Although there have been rumblings about something to do with the Uncharted series recently, this leak has not yet been confirmed. This is from Insider Gaming. So, first things first, what do you think Naughty Dog is doing that's so important that they can't come back to the Uncharted series and work on it?
They
Last
just
Last was part 2 factions.
Is Factions going to
well,
be that big?
Factions is almost done. Factions is like even if they're working on DLC for Factions, like that's not going to take the full team at Naughty Dog.
It's gonna be live service though, so they're gonna have all of
It's
this
so
uplift when
painful.
it rolls out, and they're gonna
Mm,
have dozens and dozens of teams that are gonna have active ongoing support for that.
of
And I think
course.
that's one of the like organizationally, I think Naughty Dog should be huge. They should be a company with thousands of devs on the
Mhm.
teams, right? I don't know if their budget, is allocated to reflect that, but I think that I'm sure Last of Us Part 3 is already in development. So I mean, you have people that are probably
I
dedicated to the
strongly
alpha for that.
disagree with that.
You don't
Really?
think so?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to jump to Last of Us next. I think they're going to jump ship and
And
go
go
to
to
a
like a brand
To
different.
a
new
new
IP?
IP?
They're either going to go to a new IP or they're going to use this to jump off and do a new Uncharted series, with like one of the kids or like
Jack
somebody
and
else
Jack
I
and
or
don't
Dexter. Do
I
Jack and
don't
oh
Dexter.
my
I
please Jack
want a
and
Jack and
Daxter.
Daxter.
Oh my
I want
god.
a Jack and Daxter.
Can you
Please.
imagine?
That
Can you
might
imagine?
redeem it in, good old Knave's
I
eyes if they started
I
doing Jack and
literally
Daxter.
I want a full remake of 1, 2, and 3 Jack and Daxter, please.
That
That
would
would
be
be
I
hype.
hype.
I
That'd
don't
be
have a
very
lot of
cool.
money, but I will give you my
I
money.
don't have a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
money, but all
Please
of it
take
is
it from me.
yours.
Yeah,
My kingdom for Jack and Dexter.
So,
please.
full spoilers, Brianna, I have not finished Uncharted 4. I'm in the
I have
middle of
not
my
played Uncharted 4 at
Oh
all.
my
Okay,
goodness.
okay.
I played 1, 2, and
Both of
3,
you.
and I own 4, and I haven't touched it.
Both of you. 4 is
Here's
the best
Will
one.
William
It's so
Stickler is
good.
coming out. I wanna play them sequentially, Will, and I will.
Don't do
I
that.
will
Don't
do
do
it.
that. Don't
What
do
do you
that. See, that's
mean
why you're
don't do
taking so
that?
long. I
I'm
started with 4.
almost done with 3.
4 was
How am I
4 was my
taking
first
long?
4 was my first Uncharted game. And
Really?
the reason why I'm so happy that I did that is because 4 is incredible and it's amazing. I beat 4. I loved it. Went back and played the PS4 remake that they had, or like remake and then
Mm.
remaster of 1, 2, and 3. And I
The
was so
remaster
happy.
of the remaster of the remake,
Exactly, of the
yeah.
remake of the remaster. I was so
Yeah.
happy because the first Uncharted by
Uh,
nowadays standards is so janky and bad. If I
mhm.
started there, I would have never finished.
I had a
And
good
then
time
2
with
was
it.
great, and
I
then
think
3
it
was
holds
great.
up.
I
Yeah.
think 1 was fine if you don't play any games with similar like, if you're not playing similar games, like, if you go from, like,
Mm.
one of the newer Tomb Raiders into that game, if you go to one of, like, the
Rough.
And it's
Yeah.
Uncharted
jank.
games into that game, it's, like, kinda like, but if
Yeah.
you're going from, like, a completely different, like, gaming system, it's like, "Alright, this is, like,
Yeah, I can get into it.
a
Yeah.
little weird, but I'll figure it out."
But y'all gotta play 4, and then you get to the
Ugh.
ending, and I'm just like, I'm not been, chomping at the bit and salivating. I want them to take their time. Please, no crunch. but I've been like ready for this Uncharted news. So even though it's
Mhm.
not being made by Naughty Dog, that is a huge bummer. But
They
I,
are
I just want
working
to see
I'm
more.
very
theoretically on it.
Yeah,
concerned. I'm very concerned
We're
about
hoping.
this
I'm
because
not.
I mean,
I
Bree,
trust
like
Sony first party. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
I'm a shill for it.
I'm a Sony
I
fangirl.
just the thing. So do we know who the developer is
Mm,
that's
No, it's
partnering with Naughty
nope,
Dog?
unknown.
Okay, it's
unknown.
But
unknown who it is. If
but
it's at Blue Point, I mean, potentially.
no, I want
I know they're
Blue
closer to
Point. Blue
remakes.
Point needs to be working on Dark Souls, please.
More
Okay.
Dark Souls? Oh, Dark Souls remake. You want the Dark
I
Souls remake?
want them to redo 1 the same way they did Demon Soul. Oh,
Oh my goodness, that'd be
I mean, you
crazy.
got they. I don't know if
please.
that's gonna happen because
I don't
FromSoft
think it's
already
going to
did the Dark
happen, but
Souls
that's
One
what I want.
remaster.
That's
Yeah,
just what I want.
I want them to do
So,
Bloodborne. I want them to skip all the Dark
oh
Souls,
my
go
god,
right to
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Okay, let me tell you, when I got my PlayStation 5, one of the first things I downloaded on it, so I got Demon Souls as the first game. But I also downloaded Bloodborne because I was in the middle of like my second playthrough, third playthrough. I can't remember how many times I played this game. Third playthrough. Anyways,
Of
doesn't matter.
Bloodborne.
Yeah,
Bloodborne, goodness gracious.
yeah. And
Vermont.
You're a
so
serious hardcore Mountain Dew chugging gamer, Brianna.
I play the Dark Souls franchises like over and over and over again. I
Really?
can
Okay.
I've been feeling the bug coming again, and so I'll
Hmm.
probably start playing through all of them again here.
Well, okay. I
Anyways,
mean, if that's
it's
the
just like
case, you're gonna have to Sherpa me through. Okay, please jump on stream and Sherpa me through Bloodborne because I tried
okay.
to slam my head into the wall that is the blood-starved beast, and I had
Um,
a rough time.
it's a good time. It's a rough time, but a good time. Um, so basically like I had it on my PlayStation 4, downloaded it, and like the cloak that I was wearing in the game, I was like, oh, there's a texture on that cloak. Like the
What?
upres from the PS4 to the PS5 was insane. And that's
Yeah.
Awesome.
not a remake. So if you're playing Bloodborne on PS5, I think you'll have a good time.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
love I love From Software.
But so Blue Point is not. You don't think that they're working on Naughty Dog. You don't want them to be working, or rather working on Uncharted.
I It's not that
Um,
I would be upset if they were working on it. It's just if they're working on it, it means they're not working on Dark Souls, and that's what I want.
that's fair. I just see the
So,
thing is that you see how much games change when you don't have the hands that are involved in the creative process. And I mean, Amy Hennig was involved in Uncharted 4, and there was a whole team. Obviously, Neil Druckmann was involved as
mhm,
well. So there are a lot of like very very powerful creative identities in the leadership over at Naughty Dog, and I think that's what lends strength to so much of their IP and why I mean they're
mhm,
a world renowned development studio now. And the thing that concerns me about this is that even when you look at Sony Santa Monica, obviously God of War Ragnarok, very well deserved for all of its achievements, all of its awards. It is, our both of our games of the year in
Yep, for sure.
2022.
mhm,
But you see a clear difference in what Ragnarok's complete package is under Eric Williams' leadership versus Cory Barlog's leadership in 2018. They're very different games, even though they're very similar. And so the fact that, Uncharted and people loved Uncharted 4 so much, and I'm waiting to play it so I can, be part of that fandom too.
mhm.
I'm concerned. It always makes me nervous. I mean, I know that people trust Sony first party. I just don't trust my faith in Sony has been tampered with recently with a lot of their
Mm,
their corporate decisions. So I
yeah,
really hope that this doesn't turn into like a think tank type development process where they're like, hey, we're throwing it to you, make it good, make it what people want, and then we get
yeah, I
something
don't
weird.
think they would do that. Uncharted franchise is one of their bigger franchises, so they're going to handle this with care.
Okay.
They're not just going to let this, like, run wild and like, just like throw it out. I guess we don't need the leak anymore. Throw it out to the, throw it out to the window or whatever, and just be like, "Good luck." Like
Yeah.
No,
they're gonna
they're gonna
be
take care of
there
it.
and like help them, and I'm sure they'll have resources to like reach out to Naughty Dog and be like, "Hey, like we need help with this. Like,
Right.
do you have like a minute to do like a meeting, like an hour long meeting, so we can throw some questions by you, stuff like that." The
Sure.
thing is like uh, Naughty Dog has done this, right? Like this isn't a new thing for Naughty Dog. They make a franchise and then like they're done with the franchise, right? Like
Yeah,
they
they
move
move
on
on.
and create new things. So this isn't really surprising to me. That's why I think that this might be legit is because they made Uncharted and they're now moving on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, this isn't new for Naughty Dog, but I am very excited to see where they go from here because I don't think they're gonna be touching The Last of Us again. If they do, it will be in the same world, completely different characters. I don't think that they're going to come back to those characters at all. Um, but I
You
guess
don't think they're gonna
we'll
go
see.
back to
Oh
Ellie
no.
and
If
Abby?
if they don't give me Abby again, I'm gonna riot. I need more
Yeah,
Abby in my
I'm
life.
sorry. I'm sorry, Brianna. I do
I'll
have
be
to
honest with you.
vehemently
I'll be
disagree
honest
with
with
you.
you. I have not beat the game, so don't
Oh,
don't spoil
okay.
anything.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, but so where are you in The Last of Us Part
I'm
2?
like at the last part. Like I'm literally at the last part of the game. Don't get me started. I was
Your
playing with my
homework is to beat
ex
that.
and then we like I was playing with my ex and then we
Mm.
went through the breakup and then
Oh,
like
yeah. There
Gotcha,
you
I'm
go.
like
gotcha.
now I
That
have
makes
to just
sense.
like restart the game at this point cuz now it's like a weird tainted like playthrough and
Okay, okay.
it's a whole thing. So I'm like I'm
I
going to
get it.
That's
play
fair.
Last
I
of
That's
Us
get it.
fair.
I
part
get it.
1 and then I'll go into part 2 and
Mhm.
that way it'll be just clean of
Yeah,
drama.
clean slate, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, if you just go through and play Uncharted 4, then by the time you're done with
Oh
that,
my
you'll be in a
god, get
proper
out
place
of
to
here,
play Last
you
of Us Part 2.
stickler.
Just
God,
do it. It's great.
Professor Will with his homework assignments. Thank you,
I
sir.
gotta I gotta say, on stream, I want to get this official. Nick, all the games I've, especially over this last year, that I've recommended that you play, whenever you eventually got around to playing them, they've been hype, haven't they? They've been
You
fire.
you haven't missed once.
I don't miss. I
He doesn't
don't
miss ever.
miss.
He doesn't miss
Oh my
ever.
god. I
Except
love
with
that.
Proteus. You want me to finish Proteus?
I
Fuck
do
that
want you.
game.
I
I'm
do. I
not
do.
finishing that game.
Oh man. Airing out
Okay.
drama. I love
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. This is literally my favorite. Okay, so this last story is just like a little few updates that I kind of just wanted to highlight. So From Software has released a free update for Elden Ring. The update has opened up the Colosseums, giving players all new venues, new PvP modes such as duels, free-for-alls, and team fighting. During the Game Awards, Miyazaki did confirm more content would be coming to Elden Ring, which is not a surprise. All of the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne have all had DLC, so it
Yep.
would be an atrocity if we don't get DLC for this.
Let the toxicity
Um,
flow. PvP, baby.
yes. I will not be touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No. No
I
thanks. No thanks.
hate people invading my world in
That's the
Dark Souls
worst.
games.
It's the
There's
worst.
I get so angry. If you want to see like a angry Brianna invade my
That's
world,
it.
see what happens. I
And you
get
know
so mad.
And you know what the craziest thing is that I
Ugh.
played a lot of Elden Ring with our good mutual friend Logan, and we did co-op through it, and he's helped me with various bosses and that sort of thing. And without fail, every single time we squad up, I think there is some type of like percentage, or there's some type of formula that they have in there. But whenever you do join a co-op game, we immediately get invaded. We
Yep.
immediately get
Yes.
invaded, and then somebody is
Yep.
in there, and they're like, "Haha, I'm gonna go kill them." And Logan has some
Mhm.
crazy ass builds. So he's usually like one shotting these kids. But the problem that happens is that whenever we're in situations where we're fighting like really tough enemies in the open
Mhm.
world, he'll get shot and like be out, and what that does is that kicks him out of my lobby, but I'm stuck with the invader. And so I have
Mhm.
this person who's like hundreds of levels over me, and I'm like, I literally, one dude was like fighting me, and I put down my controller. I was like, have fun, dude, have fun. This is like, fuck, I
Yeah.
don't fucking care. Like, just get out of
Well, yep.
my game.
This
Get out.
anger is exactly what I feel, and it's
Be
because
like,
of this.
good,
It's
good.
like if I wanted to be in like I just want to play with my friends without having to worry about people invading me.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes me so angry because it's like, why do I have to deal with this feature that I don't want in my game
Yeah.
just to be able to play with my friends? Like,
I
ooh,
understand. I
makes me
understand the
mad.
mentality because Will's one of these people. But there are video game players that are the Ash Ketchum of video games. I want to be the very best. And so I understand that like invasions are like, oh, you want to challenge the great golden
Let
god
me turn it
William? Oh, let
on.
me show you the folly of your mistake. I understand that mentality. It's just not me.
Mm-mm.
That's not who I am. My ego is not wrapped up in
It's
being
like,
I
a
think
Souls
oh, so
born
you're
player.
approaching me.
I
Oh,
think
so it's come to this.
honestly, I think I could get behind it if it was an option that I could turn on and off.
Yeah, a
Because
slider. Yeah.
it is an option that I cannot turn on and off, it just makes me angry. So I don't even I've never invaded anybody else's world and I will not because I know how mad it makes me and I just like I can't do it. Like I cannot do it.
I think with Elden Ring, I don't know if this is true for the other titles, but I think with Elden Ring you can play in offline mode. So
You can. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
when
none
I
of your
play by
friends, yeah.
myself, like you just can't
but
have your friends help you.
as soon as you're with friends, somebody else is coming in.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually how I play the game, specifically because I don't want people invading me because I get
Yeah.
so angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that's that. I will not be touching it, but it's a good time for everybody that likes that. Can't wait for the DLC, like foaming at the mouth.
Right.
Next one, just a little short one. My Hero Academia is coming to Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite, but I might play for this. I
More
love My
anime.
Hero
Yes,
Academia.
That
more
was like
anime.
me when Dragon Ball
Oh,
came. I was
so good.
like, "Hey,
Yep. I
let's
guess I gotta
go."
check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the
Next
waiting on
one
the
is
Bleach
go ahead.
characters. Also, I was just saying now I'm waiting
Yeah.
on the Bleach characters to come to
hmm
Fortnite.
The updated ones though from like
Yes, yes.
Thousand
Gonna want
Years.
Ichigo from Thousand Years Blood War.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so good. Okay. And then Greece, there's so much debate about how to say this game. It's GRIS. I'm not gonna have the
It's a
argument
French
here.
developer, so I think it's Gree, but we'll just let it. We'll leave it at that.
We're just gonna I'm not gonna argue with anybody. However you say it is the right way, because I don't know. It's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series XS on December 13th. So the time that you're listening to this publicly is when you'll be able to play it.
Yep.
If you haven't played this game yet, please do yourself a favor and just get it on the updated
So good.
versions. It is so fantastic, and
It's
it's
gorgeous.
not a very long experience, and it's absolutely worth your time. So I wanted to shout that out.
I play this game on the Switch. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say, did you check and see, are they doing a upgrade if you have the older versions? Because I've been playing on the PS4 version, and I really, really love it. But I'd love to see even a little bit more shininess, action, lovely. If it's
I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
wasn't sure if they were going to bring an upgrade to it, but I
I
mean, if
played
it,
on Switch, so I can't
gotcha.
upgrade,
yeah,
but
same. Yeah, I played this
let
on
us know.
Switch, and Gree is like one of those rare games, and I also cried at the end of Inside too. But Gree is one of those rare games where it's like I finished it and I spent a solid 15 minutes. Like I had my initial cry session for like 5 minutes, and then I was just sat there. I just didn't do anything. I just thought about that game. I just mulled it over, and I was just like, this. It's one of those experiences you kind of just have to take in, and just the sound
Mhm.
design and the art style just really just they harmonize so well. So yeah,
Shout
play it.
out. That game is
Play it now.
fantastic. And
Yeah,
like
play it.
the way the mechanics
Oh,
unfold in that game is so beautiful.
So
yeah.
I
check
love
the
it.
article. It does say PS5 version free upgrade for existing owners. Yes,
Woo!
Ooh,
I'm
let's
gonna stop
go.
so I
Let's
can play it on the
go.
PS5 version.
Do it.
Fantastico.
Just to add to the list of games that you're playing.
Exact. Oh, stop!
Yeah.
Don't even remind me of my backlog. Goodness gracious.
Well, it's so bad. I have a whole notebook to keep track of stuff I do. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay, so I think we've made it through here. I think I just want to do a quick limit list because we always do limit lists, and I don't want to
Okay.
skip out on it. So just a quick one. Games you're looking forward to for 2023. Just a shout out to like one game and why you're looking forward to it.
Nick, you wanna go first?
Okay, games we're looking forward to for 2023. This is good because we have a whole list that's at the top of this document that I can reference. So yeah, I said it earlier. Obviously I am on a complete other level of hype for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I am a Star Wars dork. I want more of that. In terms of other titles that we're getting in 2023, it still feels a little murky to me because I don't like know if there are rumored games that we haven't had like trailers or announcements that we don't know that is coming out. But I didn't get to say this at the top of the show, so I will say it now. I never got to play the original Warhammer Space Marine, and
Mhm.
William says that that is an incredible
It's
game.
incredible.
And
So
the
good.
Space Marine 2 gameplay trailer that we got at the Game Awards looked so fucking cool. And it's like mainly it looks like melee intensive. And of course, like you're a Space Marine, so you also have like the gun and stuff and you're mowing people down. It's giving me that right balance of something that I've been sorely missing of that really, really impressive visceral Gears of War styled combat. And so I think that is something that I'm like very much looking forward to in terms of like getting in there and just fucking people up with a huge sword and this big space marine suit. It just looks
He
it's hitting all
looks
of
so
these.
heavy. Like
Yeah, it
like
does.
Yeah.
not like as in like, oh wow, he's a really big guy. Like he just is like he like his suit is just like so
Yeah,
like
he's like
heavy.
clomping
Like how
around.
is he
Yeah.
walking right
Yeah,
now?
he's fucking jacked. He's on
Because
all the
he's a zealot.
steroids. Yeah, he's a
He's literally
zealot.
just
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
and he's
zealot
literally just on a
for the
murder
emperor.
rampage. I want to, yeah, I just want to murder everything. So I'm gonna say that, and I'm sorry if I'm stealing this from you guys. The Spider-Man 2, man.
Oh, you
Spider-Man
thief! You
2 is
absolute
gonna be
thief!
so
My
fucking
goodness
good. Oh, I'm
gracious!
so hyped for it. Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it the developer, the creative director who dropped a tweet yesterday or day before yesterday, maybe even today?
It was somebody on the creative development team. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
it
Liv
was just
tweeted
a
that.
little gif of
Yeah,
Spidey and
Spidey
both
Miles.
Spideys. You got
Yeah,
Peter and Miles,
Miles.
and
Yeah.
I was just like, What are you trying to tell me, sir?
Are
What are you trying
like
to tell me right now?
that's my question is like, do you guys? I'm sorry if I'm derailing this conversation, but do you guys think that we're gonna have some type of combat system where you can switch between Peter and Miles in active combat?
This
Would that
seems a
be
lot.
weird? Is that something you
That
want?
seems a lot. I wouldn't want that. I would
They
just
did it.
prefer,
They did it
switch in and out.
successfully in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that was fun. And I know that's a different game, but
Yeah, but you shouldn't be running around, I guess, as a party the whole time, which is probably why it'd be a little weird. Like, I want to be able
yeah,
to
that's true.
Peter, be Peter, and then I want to be Miles, and then maybe we can be someone else that's wearing
Gwen.
black and white. That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah,
So
Gwen
that's what I'm looking
Stacy
forward to.
for the win.
I
Spider-Gwen.
that would be what would get me into Spider-Man. I didn't touch Spider-Man. I was very, very worried about motion sickness.
Mhm.
Oh, do you get motion sick in games?
I get motion sick. I get pretty
Oh,
motion sick. So
okay.
I was really worried about it. And after watching people play, I was like, yeah, that's probably not gonna.
It's not gonna fly for
But
me.
if they added Spider-Gwen, I would try. I would feel like I will power through this.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Got the
That's fair.
barf bag right next to you. Like,
Uh,
we're gonna rock through this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually what it is I either have to have this is such a weird thing. I either have to have beef jerky or bread. Those are like my
Oh,
two foods that like help with
Just something
motion
chewy.
sickness.
Makes sense.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
neat.
don't know. But yeah. Will, what are your games you're looking forward to?
So Nick did steal a couple of them. Spider-Man was big up
How dare
there,
he?
and definitely Warhammer 40K looks so good. But I would say for me, as far as the day went by, especially for 2023, I'm looking forward to Suicide Squad coming out. One,
Mhm.
shout out to Kevin Conroy. So huge loss
Yeah.
in the community via acting. He is my Batman personally. I love all the other
Mhm.
Batman we've had, but as far as just voicing, love him in Justice League. Love him in Batman animated series, of course. So he's definitely my Batman, and it was very sad to see him go this year. But I'm excited to at least hear him one more time in that Suicide Squad
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
gonna
the
be a day one
swan
purchase,
song.
easy.
I'm hoping it's the swan song for him for
Mhm.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I think I'll be getting that day one. I'll probably be getting Spider-Man day one, and yeah, 2023 is looking pretty bright. So I'm
Oh,
excited for
it's
this
looking
year.
so insane. I now have started a Google, I always say want to say Google Doc, but it's a Google Sheet, for like all the games coming because I was just getting stressed because I was like, how do I keep track of all this?
Yeah.
I said,
But
whatever you do,
yeah.
don't put the dollar amount next to them so you don't see how much money you're gonna spend
Oh
next
yeah,
year, because then
absolutely
you're gonna
not.
just get so anxious.
Yeah, yeah.
I need a second
Absolutely
job
not.
to play for these games, and then I can't play the games because I have the second job.
This is why
Yep.
we need to work for the games industry so we can just expense our hobbies, you know what I mean?
True, true.
Mhm. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff coming out next year, but like so like I shouted out a couple because we talked about this like last week, Ethan and I did. So I shouted out a couple of games next year that are coming out, like Tears of the Kingdom, Hogwarts Legacy, stuff like that. But I did not talk about Oxenfree 2,
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh,
There's also a
Never
game
played
coming
Oxenfree.
out. You're missing out. Fix that. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
recommend it for sure. Add it to your list.
It's
Okay.
so
Ever
I'll
good.
growing
put it on
list.
I'll throw it on the old backlog.
It's so good. And then the other one that I'm really like, I've been keeping an eye on since I saw a trailer for it recently is Infinity Nikki. It's like an MMO, but magical girls. And you can have your own house and like dress up, and
Is it gonna be a
that's all
la
my
Rune
fun things.
Factory, Disney Dreamlight Valley type situation?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know where they're going with it. That's why I've got my eye on it rather than just like it looks really cool. It looks like it's gonna have a really interesting magic system where you get to be like a different whatever. You can like choose what kind of magical girl you are and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm super into magical girl stuff, so this s- it seems like it's gonna be interesting.
Shout out Madoka.
Oh, my God, that show is so good. If you guys not have not seen Madoka Magica, it's so good. My dad was
Mm.
trying to read that the other day. He was cracking me up because he was trying to say Madoka Magica, but he was trying to like read it, and it was not that. I don't even know what he said. Yeah, it was not
Madoka.
even anywhere close, and I was like, "What are you saying?" And he had to like show me, and I was like, "Oh dear
Oh,
lord."
no.
So yeah, lots of good things coming next year. We're gonna be having a great time. I'm not
Or
excited
can
that
be.
Hogwarts Legacy is coming out while I'm in Japan, but
Mm.
I'll get back and jump right into that
Let's
immediately.
say
So
if you get the version in Japan, then you can listen to the Japanese, voice acting in Hogwarts. That'd be interesting.
Mm.
that would be dope.
Expecto Patronum, but in
I just
Japanese.
like go to like the is there a Japanese GameStop? I don't think so, but
Yeah. I just
I
wish
went
there
to
was a sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I went to GameStop in Italy when I was in Italy and got Assassin's Creed Brotherhood
Oh, that's
just
pretty nice.
Oh, hey,
That's
that's
actually really
just to
cool.
sick.
buy.
That's awesome. Holy shit, that's
Just to
amazing,
buy it.
actually.
So
That's, like, one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds too, so that's really intense.
yeah, so maybe we'll
Um,
go get Hogwarts Legacy in Japan. But yeah.
I mean, like, not to, like, virtue signal or anything like that, I just wish there was a way for us to support the developers in a way that's
Yep,
not gonna contribute to JK Rowling's revenue.
100%.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
Shout
I
out to
just
J.K. Rowling for being a jerk.
The
yeah,
worst. The
yeah,
absolute worst.
turf and
The
a transphobe,
worst.
so there's that. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
Ugh,
No,
drives me
2023 though.
crazy.
2023 is gonna be crazy. The
Yeah.
horror fans, we're gonna be eating. Alan Wake
Eating.
2,
Oh
Oh,
my
fuck,
god,
Alan Wake
I
2,
forgot
so
about
good.
Dead
Alan Wake. I
Space,
forgot about the
Resident
Dead
Evil
Space 1
4.
remake. Holy
hmm
shit.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yep,
RE4 remake. Oh, it's gonna be
Silent Hill 2
crazy.
remake,
we're eating.
Fatal Frame.
Eating.
Like
It's
Oh, so
Fatal. They're remaking Fatal Frame?
I
they're
think they
doing
are.
a Fatal Frame. I don't know if it's a
I don't know
remake
if
or
it's a
if it's a new
remake.
one.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it comes out March 9th. I have that on my spreadsheet. Anyway, so shout out to all those horror games, all those fun games. Let us know what you're looking forward to. Woo. We'll go ahead and head out here. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can again find us at youtube.com/savethegoodmedia. Don't forget to check out our Discord. Come hang out. I just went to a party last night. And I gotta like post like some food in the food chat. I posted like my outfit in the photos chat, so you can come hang out and check that out. It was a good time. And then yeah, we're always partying over there and arguing with Kevin about how he has terrible opinions.
Oh, yeah.
Always a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah,
Oh
let's
God,
all attack Kevin together, please.
no kidding. Where can people find you guys? Will?
Oh, well, you can find us on Twitter, as long as it's still alive. Haha, the joke still continues. But good old Twitter will be at Friday Night Gamers, and that's gamers with a R and Z, right, Nick, at the end?
Correct. So
Yes.
NITEGAMRZ. Mhm.
Good, good. So that's there on Twitter. If you want me individually on Twitter, if you want to yell at me, tell me all your gaming hot takes, you want to recommend a game for me to play instead of the other way around, like I always do, find me at King Zozotai on Twitter. That's KingZosotai. How about yourself, Nick? Where can they find you at?
So I man our Twitter account. I'm constantly shit posting on there. So if you
All the
want
time.
to see all of the ridiculous things that I like or retweet, definitely that's like I'll always interact with you as long as you just at our podcast Friday Night Gamers. But also my personal Twitter handle is Nikolai at Night. And that's KNIGHT. So shout out, listen to us, check us out. We are the
Mhm.
Friday Night Gamecast on all podcasting platforms. We just posted our Game of the Year 2022 episode. It's hype, it's rad. We had a great time.
It's long.
So give it a
Yes,
listen.
yeah,
It is long.
yeah,
It's
it
2
is.
hours.
It's a
2
good
hours
long though.
long.
It's a good
Yeah.
long.
Okay,
So.
good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Bree, for
Yeah,
having us on.
great
Yeah, of
time.
course. Thanks for coming by. It's been so fun. You can
Nice.
find me at Fabulous Brianna, of course. So yeah, come hang out with us. We'd love to chat again in the Discord. I keep shouting it out, but I just want more people to join. Please come hang out with us.
Let's do it.
Until next time, have a
All right.
wonderful week.
Okay.
Peace.